There is a history that we are used to seeing on the surface of the earth. Textbooks are filled with dates of battles, names of rulers, and chronology of discoveries. But there is another history, one that someone tried to bury forever beneath millions of tons of monolithic stone. Cities filled in by hand, underground tunnels cut through granite using technologies that officially did not exist. Colossal vaults to which access is closed today by strict government orders. We are used to thinking our ancestors lived in primitive huts, but the discoveries hidden deep underground break this comfortable picture. Today, we will open the secret archives of archaeology. These are the 11 most unexplained underground discoveries in history that still remain unanswered. And believe me, the final discovery will force you to completely rethink everything you knew about technology. In 1963, a resident of the Turkish province of Cappadocia was renovating his house. While tearing down an old stone wall in his basement, he accidentally discovered a hidden room behind it, a passage into a colossal underground metropolis going down 18 stories. Welcome to Derinkuyu. This site is called a true engineering miracle of antiquity. The city could autonomously accommodate up to 20,000 people along with all their livestock and fresh water. Full-fledged residential quarters, wineries, stables, and public halls were discovered here. More than 50,000 ventilation shafts were cut so perfectly that even at a depth of 85 meters, the air remained absolutely clean, a feat considered impossible to achieve without precise measuring instruments. The city's security system was designed on a one-way principle. Huge stone disc doors weighing half a ton could only be locked from the inside, each with a small hole, officially to shoot at enemies, but some researchers believe it was to check whether whatever forced them underground had left. The main paradox lies in the finale. About 8,000 years ago, Derinkuyu was not abandoned in a hurry. It was purposefully, manually filled with millions of tons of dry soil and sand. Someone made a colossal effort to permanently isolate this bunker from the world. From what horror were people hiding? And why bury their city? The answer has still not been found. On the island of Malta lies the Hypogeum, a three-tiered labyrinth carved entirely out of solid limestone more than 5,000 years ago. Ancient builders manually excavated thousands of tons of stone, using only primitive flint tools and animal bones. But the true mystery lies in how this site interacts with sound. Deep on the second level is the oracle chamber. Speak normally and nothing happens. But make a sound at exactly 110 Hz, and the room becomes a powerful acoustic resonator. A low male voice is amplified hundreds of times, vibrating through the entire body of everyone inside. Modern neuroscientists found that acoustic resonance at 110 Hz instantly changes the brain's bioelectric activity, switching off logic centers and activating areas tied to creativity and deep hallucinations. A person instantly plunges into a trance. Why did ancient builders need an underground psychoacoustic simulator? And here's the catch. Archaeologists who first opened Hal Saflieni found the remains of more than 7,000 human bodies piled inside. A place of mass worship or an ancient laboratory for altering the human psyche? Scientists still do not know. The Pyramid of Cheops in Giza has been studied by humanity for hundreds of years. It would seem that every centimeter of this colossal structure has long been catalogued. But in 2017, an international team of physicists used muon radiography, cosmic ray scanning technology, to look through solid stone for hidden internal spaces. The results shocked the world. Right above the Grand Gallery, a giant, isolated void, at least 30 meters long, confirmed by 3 independent teams. No corridor, shaft, or channel leads to it. It was completely sealed off by limestone blocks during construction 4,500 years ago. Officials called it a relieving chamber to reduce pressure, but engineers refuted this, since an empty chamber of this shape offers no structural benefit. What exactly is sealed inside? Egypt immediately banned drilling into the zone, and while research there is frozen, in China, a similar underground secret has been locked away at the highest level. Millions of tourists visit Xi'an to see the terracotta army guarding the tomb of China's first emperor, Qin Shi Huang. But the emperor's actual burial chamber, beneath a huge mound nearby, has remained untouched for over 2,000 years. Ancient chronicles describe a ceiling decorated with stars and a floor map of the empire, with rivers of liquid mercury kept flowing by mechanical devices. For centuries, this was dismissed as metaphor, until soil analysis revealed mercury vapor concentrations 100 times above natural levels directly over the tomb. The ancient chronicles turned out to be true. China forbids any excavation of the mound. Officially, the technology to open it safely doesn't exist. Unofficially, a system of mechanical crossbow traps and mercury pumps may still be functional after 2 millennia. The emperor's underworld protects itself. In India's Bihar state lie the Barabar Caves, cut into granite cliffs in the 3rd century BC. From outside, they look roughly carved, but step inside the Sudama cave and the walls are polished to a mirror shine with perfect geometric precision, despite builders supposedly having only copper chisels and stone hammers. This accuracy rivals laser processing on modern CNC machines, with no traces of manual chisel strikes. The caves also have unique acoustics. Sound reflects and decays over several minutes, creating volumetric resonance. Why spend colossal resources carving empty, geometrically perfect rooms into the hardest rock on Earth? There is no official answer. Herodotus described an underground labyrinth near Hawara, Egypt, that amazed him more than the pyramids. A massive structure of 3,000 rooms, half underground, filled with reliefs and the accumulated knowledge of past civilizations. For centuries, this was dismissed as legend. In 2008, a Belgian-Egyptian expedition used ground-penetrating radar and found the clear contours of a giant structure with hundreds of interconnected rooms beneath the sand. Herodotus was right. It was a potentially history-rewriting discovery, but Egypt's Supreme Council of Antiquities immediately halted the expedition, blocked publication of the scan results, and full-scale excavation has never begun. The labyrinth remains sealed under the sand. In Peru, the megalithic fortress of Sacsayhuamán is famous for walls of giant blocks fitted with such precision that not even paper fits between them. But hidden beneath it is the Chincanas, an extensive network of underground labyrinths going deep into the bedrock, said by Inca legend to connect to Cusco, built by an older race of gods. In the early 20th century, several expeditions descended in search of hidden gold. Most disappeared without a trace. 2 survivors who eventually emerged were in deep psychological shock, clutching gold ingots of unique shape. Fearing the danger, Peru's government walled up, blew up, or filled the entrances with concrete. Researchers believe the Chincanas hide ancient, high-tech objects humanity isn't ready to access. In 1795, teenagers in Canada found a strange depression near an old oak tree, beginning the longest treasure hunt in history. Diggers found platforms of oak logs every 3 meters, and at 30 meters, a slab reading 40 feet below, 2 million pounds are buried. But digging further flooded the shaft with ice-cold water that pumps couldn't drain. It turned out the pit's creators had cut hidden tunnels from the ocean coast straight to the shaft, a brilliant automatic hydraulic trap that floods the moment someone digs too deep, requiring precise geodetic surveying to build. Who created this trap and why remains a mystery. In 1992, villagers in Longyou, China pumped water from a pond rumored to be artificial, revealing a giant cave carved into bedrock. 24 such halls have since been found, each thousands of square meters with ceilings up to 30 meters high, carved from solid siltstone, requiring removal of at least 1 million cubic meters of rock. But there's no trace of that extracted stone anywhere nearby, and no historical record mentions this construction at all. The walls show parallel furrows cut at a perfect 60-degree angle, as if by mechanical tunneling shields, with no soot from torches, meaning the work was done in total darkness. The Longyou Caves remain silent evidence of a lost, highly capable civilization. Beyond the famous Nazca lines lies the Puquios, an underground aqueduct system built over 2,000 years ago in a desert where it rains once every few years. Long dismissed as simple wells, they're actually a brilliant feat of applied hydrodynamics. Ancient engineers tapped deep underground rivers from the Andes and channeled the water through stone tunnels. Spiral funnels on the surface catch the wind, creating pressure that pushes air into the tunnels. A natural pneumatic pump, keeping water moving for miles without evaporating. This system has worked without failure or electricity for 20 centuries. Modern hydrogeologists say building it required precise underground mapping that shouldn't have been possible at the time. In 1901, sponge divers discovered the wreck of a Roman ship off the Greek island of Antikythera, raising from the bottom a shapeless, corroded lump of bronze. Decades later, the first X-rays revealed it contained a complex system of over 30 precision differential gears, the Antikythera Mechanism, now officially recognized as the first analog computer in human history. It modeled the movement of the sun and moon with absolute mathematical precision, predicted eclipses, and even tracked the 4-year cycle of the Olympic Games. Building it required deep knowledge of astronomy, mathematics, and precision mechanics, rivaling 18th century European watches created 2,000 years earlier. According to official history, the tools to cut such gears didn't exist at the time. The device existed in a single copy, the technology lost with the shipwreck, and it took humanity 2,000 years to build anything this complex again. If you want to open these secret archival files every week and learn what historical mysteries are still under strict government bans, subscribe to the channel right now. We only study the facts. Our planet is riddled with traces of ancient technologies we are only beginning to understand. But if these underground labyrinths seem incredible, the discoveries scientists recently made under a kilometer of ice in Antarctica scare the world community even more. Ground radars there recorded structures that should not exist. To find out what the frozen continent is hiding and why militaries are urgently moving forces there, click on this video appearing on your screen right now. The story is just beginning. Subscribe so you don't miss new videos.